Hey guys, alright, it's Brett from Iron Body Martial Arts here. How's it going? I run a channel here on YouTube that focuses mainly on old style traditional martial arts and conditioning, training, toughness, endurance training, and a bit of self-defense, law enforcement stuff, because that's what I used to do. Um, yeah, well, um, well, it's great to be here and being able to put out a bunch of videos recently, and they've got really um, good reactions, which is great because my channel's been not that busy for a while, although I've been busy. I just wanted to do a video today explaining for the subscribers and stuff, explaining this black belt martial arts power sort of series that I've been putting out and will be putting out more of them. Um, and also just probably trail into a question and answer and stuff if any of the community guys are here, and then just talk about some comments and stuff like this. We'll jump from topic to topic. The little kids at home, I'm here home with the little kids, so he might wake up any moment. If he does, I'll just have to end the stream, and I'll come back in a bit. We can also talk about some other stuff to do with the YouTube martial arts community and stuff. But yeah, anyway, so um, and of course, at any time, if you guys want to say a comment or anything like that, just go ahead. It's always good to see you and appreciate support. Um, so, um, so I've recently released a Black Belt Martial Arts Power series. That's been, it's just been a couple of videos. And anyone who watches the channel will actually know that they're clips and excerpts from the hours and hours and hours of live stream training that I've done um, on YouTube. And, there's lots of gems and training stuff. And I got to thinking that, you know, what do I think? Like, I wanted to, well, first off, I wanted to get stuff that I've done, and there's hours and hours of footage and new stuff as well. There's some new stuff. And I wanted to think, well, what do people think when they think black belt? If you just go up to anyone in the street or another person and, what do you have to do? What should I have to do to be a black belt, in a mythical, some whatever martial art it is, karate, this and that, and next thing. So it didn't really matter the martial art, but like there's an expectation out there, isn't there, in the wider society that, if and I guess that's why martial arts falls short, maybe, is because there's an expectation of like ability, power, strength, endurance, the tricks that you can do. Right or wrong, there's an expectation in people's minds, or at least there used to be, like people like me growing up in the 80s and whatnot. Maybe not so much now. I don't know, the younger guys with the YouTube and younger girls, but there's an expectation of what you should be able to do. So what I thought I'd do is I would trawl through my hours and hours and hours of like live stream training. That's like most people probably haven't even seen, and some new stuff. And I would put little videos of like the training, and it would be the sort of things that I might expect a black belt or black belt person should be able to do, like conditioning training, yeah. So I'm gonna carry on with the video series and pull out stuff, but certainly a black belt in, say, Iron Body Martial Arts or a red sash in Kung Fu or whatever you want to call it, like a beginning, a young beginning master level, not master, but whatever you consider a black belt, you're really only just starting at black belt, but you're not starting. You've learned the basics, and now it's your turn to start honing them and start putting in hard practice. So, that's my idea of a black belt. What's your idea of a black belt? And that's exactly what this whole series was about, even though it's little clips. And I plan to do a few videos like this and catch-ups where, we put it out there a bit more, like what's your expectation of a black belt? I know that changes and it's different for whatever martial art you're in, so it opens up like a really wide topic. But what I wanted to do is chuck some videos out there and be like, okay, um, because over the years I've been running the Patreon where I've been trying to train people up and put a syllabus and stuff. It hasn't really sort of succeeded because for various reasons, my life's been chaotic as well. But yeah, I wanted to repeating myself again, but I just wanted to put out, what kind of black belt material, what's the black belt requirement that I think, people should have, So yeah, one of the videos, it's like, okay, grip, for me and in Kung Fu and in a lot of martial arts, I'm going to talk about like my idea of a black belt now. So my idea of a black belt is, they've got to have strong and powerful grip, or at least they've got to be training their grip so it's better than it was. And, always when I was growing up and the people that inspired me in the martial arts, grip strength and like I know it's different, but speed and power and that sort of thing. It's all this iron bridge, it's all linked. But gripping strength and the feats of grip and power were always like something that inspired me, and I was like, yeah, that's black belt, and that goes along with the breaking and stuff. So there we go. My first video in the black belt martial arts power series was, me hitting that metal rebar and bending it, and maybe that might be a little, I don't know, above black belt if you want to call it. Well, not really, but to me that's, it is difficult to achieve that, but still, that was kind of like my idea, like, because the amount of times growing up in my life, but maybe people are a bit more knowledgeable now, but the first thing people have said to me loads of times is like, oh, you're a black belt, are you? Oh yeah. Oh well, yeah, I have a black belt, yeah. Oh well, can you break this and can you break that? And they kind of say it as a joke, and then it's funny to me because I go, oh yeah, I probably could break that, yeah, I could probably bend that, yeah, I could probably smash that. And it doesn't make you a good, it doesn't necessarily make you a good fighter or whatever, but I don't know, hopefully you guys can see where I'm going. It's like that classic adage of what can a black belt do, can they fly, can they this and that, and part of the reason I did this series as well is I'm trying to get back that respect for the black belt. It's like, not all black belts are trained in dojos. Not all black belts have been given the sympathy black belt. There are a ton of people out there who are black belt and above, but just call them black belt for the sake of it, where, they put in a lot of hard work and they're actually pretty formidable guys, even if their martial arts is, antiquated or whatever, and it's not up to scratch with like the practicalities of UFC and this and that and the next thing, or whatever argument you want to look at it. There's a bunch of people out there who can do some cool shit and they, deserve the black belt rank. So there we go. The first video in the black belt martial arts power series, the bending of the rebar. So that was me going like, in my opinion, black belt needs to toughen their hands. Now this is for many reasons. And again, sorry guys, I might, if the little kid cries for some milk, I'm gonna have to end this stream. But I just wanted to get this dialogue going. So for many reasons, like. Yeah. Thanks for the thumbs up there, guys. For many reasons, the black belt, a true black belt, whatever you want to call it, red sash, whatever, you're going to have to fight. Maybe even this is hypothetical, but you're going to have to fight and you're going to have to not rely on the fact that you've got gloves or wraps or whatever. So we have to toughen our hands. Now, whether that's just the strength for the grappling or it's the strength to do some hitting, we need to toughen our hands. So again, I repeat myself, and again, anyone feel free to comment and put your opinions in. I'll have a look at them and we can discuss. Because that's why I wanted to do this series. What makes a black belt? Training those hands so that you can do damage, or at least you're better than you would have been. But the ultimate goal, obviously, for the true black belt, and certainly for myself, for the 72 secret arts of Shaolin and whatnot, and Okinawan traditional Okinawan karate, the true goal of the black belt is to like train their hands, sometimes even stupid bits of their hands, so that they can deal, look, like superhuman damage. I'm saying that's the goal. Not saying that's what you can do or that's what I can do, but that's the goal, you know, the magical goal in your mind. So that's why I put the first video was me hitting that rebar and bending it. And that's like, yeah, black belt martial arts power, you know, let's get a dialogue of what can a black belt do? You know, there's no specifics on rank or first dan or second or whatever. It's just like people stop dissing black belts. Not everyone's from a McDojo. What can a black belt do? Okay, bang. A black belt, bang, 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 can bend a bar, can break some bricks, can smash some stuff. And none of those things matter. But it just shows that it's a person who toughens their hands, you know? So bang, there goes. That's the first video that I put on. I think the second one was the cinder block breaking. And again, that's in the realm of breaking. So not everything has to be breaking. Again, like I say, it doesn't matter. The conditioning is what matters. The training is what matters. The breaking doesn't really matter. That's a personal exploit. It's a bit of a demonstration. And if you do it all the time, you end up busting yourself anyway, unless you're like super, super conditioned. So there. Then we've moved on to the grip with some of the other videos where there's different ways of practicing and training the grip again. So that goes along with the breaking, the gravel bag hitting. So that also incorporates into the iron palm. But you can see a bit of a theme here because the beginnings of this black belt martial arts power series are it's like toughened hands and arms. And then I've moved on to the next video of the black belt martial arts power series. It's like, well, you can't have, you know, toughened hands, toughened arms, and then it's the same rock bag, and it's you know, starting to do some iron body stuff. You know, with the video I put on, it was uh, onto the arms. You know, and the reason I put that one up because it was on one of my live training feeds that I was doing it on. And I thought it was a very practical one to do because it's not it's training your defensive weapons. Like my hope was someone who does Muay Thai, someone who does boxing, someone who does you know, Kyokushin, someone who does MMA. You know, we've all checked. We've all had to, you know, gloves or no gloves. We've all had to check a kick. You know, that's a classic. You know, either with your legs or with, you know, or with your arms as it comes in, and you just, you know, eat it with the gloves. You know, doing like this, doing like this. Any way that you check a kick with your arms or receive it or absorb it, whether you've got gloves or not, that was the idea of that video. Um, and obviously, yeah, for training on your own, that the rock bags swinging and striking this area of your arms is a great analog for a kick because, you know, though when those rocks hit you in that weight, that like 8, 9, 10 kilo weight, it really it really like cold sinks into the arm, and it's a lot like that evil shin pain that you get if someone gets you with their shin. So yeah, so I thought that would be a great example. And again, it's going with that theme of black belt martial arts power. You know, what training can we do, or what do we expect that a black belt person can do, or what should they be able to demonstrate? Toughened hands, grip strength, power in that regard. The ability to, you know, be able to check and take kicks, you know, you call it manga style or whatever, you know, the kick comes in, boom, and that's another good thing that the rock bag will do. You know, if you're training rock bag hitting, I didn't include in that, but I was hitting my legs and I hit everything with it. But if you know, if you're doing that with the swinging rock bag, then of course when you check someone's kick, and if you don't move right or whatever and you check it and you've just got to eat the whole kick, it makes it more survivable for you. If you have the right mental mindset, you can eat the whole kick and you can actually, you know, like put force back into it and send them away. But that's in the realms of iron body stuff, and which wasn't where I was going necessarily with the video, with the black belt martial arts power video. But you know, yeah, it's yeah, but still, and I said I would bounce between like viewer comments and stuff. Still, someone came on there on the video because there's another thing I wanted to talk about is Obviously, I've done the title Black Belt Martial Arts Power. I wanted it to grab people. I wanted it to start the dialogue, which I don't really often do on my channel. I wanted to start the dialogue of, yeah, Black Belt Martial Arts Power. What do we all expect that a black belt should be able to do? And let's demonstrate some stuff and get people inspired for training. But already, unfortunately, those videos that I did, have, I don't know, maybe because of the title, but also they're very short and demonstrative. They've and but quick as well, which I'm never good at on my channel. Everything's always long and dragged out. But already, because those videos have reached maybe a few more people than usual, or the core people who watch the channel, there has been some negative comments on there, which is funny because I haven't had that really on my channel for quite a lot of years. But yeah, but I guess because those videos reached a few more people, there's been the negative comments. Now, I was just talking, some more than others, but I was just talking about the rock bag, like for that one, and striking the arms, striking the arms and the muscle here for checking kicks, you know. Um, and someone, fair enough, their comments on there, but someone comes on a martial arts channel, you're obviously, yeah, hitting with your rock bags a bit crazy, but also what can you do on your own? And someone's come on there and said, like, well, why, what help is that going to do me doing this training? And I kind of get, sometimes I just get confused, or maybe it's just because maybe this stuff is a bit too niche or it seems crazy, but I mean, martial arts in general is crazy, like beating people up and fighting. And, I'm just like, bro, like, why do I have to point at, like, surely, have you ever checked a kick in your life? Like gloves or no kicks? Have you ever, I mean, gloves or no gloves, haven't you had like a body kick come into like your stomach when you're this way, and you have to eat it like this, or a kick comes up here, and, even with the Thai gloves, you do the, you do the catch where you catch it like this, and sometimes you get it wrong. You think in your mind what, you do the mistake of thinking in your mind what the kick's going to look like. Oh yeah, and then bang, you just eat it wrong, or you move at the last minute, or you trip or something like that, and you just have to eat the whole kick on your arms and try and absorb it. So that's why I put that on there. Thanks for the thumbs up there, mate. That's why I put that on there, and to me, that was like, and that's not really what this video is about, but it's because this is about like, what can a black belt demonstrate? But I was just surprised that there's been some, a couple of negative comments going out there. Not that that one's too negative, but it's just like, bro, like, what, like, have you? I mean, I just replied to it like, bro, have you never checked a kick? And really, I didn't mean to reply. Like, I wasn't trying to be shitty. Like, I reread my reply and I was like, oh, hope this guy doesn't think I'm being shitty or cocky or whatever. Because I was just saying, like, bro, have you never checked a kick before? Like, can't you see the benefit? I mean, you might not want to do it, but can't you see the benefit in hitting yourself with the bag? It's the same as going to the club and someone kicking you, and you're blocking it, with whatever guard you do. We've, like I said, guys, we've all we've all had to check a kick. We've all had to eat a kick. Um, and I guess that's because on here, saying Christo Max just put a comment. I guess that's because on here in general, because my martial arts channel here, like all these, I know not a lot of you guys return back to the channel. Sometimes you do. There's loads of people who do, but you know what I mean. Like not every time, or the algorithm doesn't recommend it. But all the people on this channel are usually just proper martial artists. And all my views, I've been on YouTube for like 15, 16, 17 years, whatever it is now. It's got to be about 15 years. And I've only got 13,000 subscribers. But that's because I didn't sign up to any algorithms, which loads of channels have done. I didn't sign up to like these pages that boost your views. So actually, all my subscribers are people who physically subscribed and were interested in this aspect of martial arts. So for that reason, I don't actually get many. I used to in the past when my channel was really new, but I don't really get any dumb negative really comments. But that's again, like I was saying, with the release of this Black Belt Martial Arts Power series, which I did want to grab a few more people with. Yeah, there has been a couple of like, I guess, just stupid comments. And I can only guess that they're from people who are just not martial artists, because again, or I don't know, but this, or beginners or whatever, because this this thing of the bag, I mean, dudes, that bag, the stone bag, the swinging the stone bag for training yourself, for the momentum of kicks and the feel of kicks, certainly for what you can do on your own. And then if you want to surpass that and get like, tougher, so that when people do kick you, like it's not as bad as the stone bag. That the stone bag is great, like I've eaten a few kicks. Like years ago, I took a shin kick straight to the forearm, which I stupidly, like I was in the wrong place and I went like that and just blocked it like bad style, like almost like old karate style, um, because I was just in the wrong position. And this dude kicked my shin, he shin kicked my forearm, and like I just felt this thing of pain go through my forearm. But my forearm was fine. It's like, oh, that hurt. And in my brain was like, oh shit, I wouldn't like to take another one of those because that really hurt. But I looked at him and he looked at me. I didn't make any like movement of my face, but then he fell over, and I was like, yes, you know what I mean? So it hurt me, but I didn't get a bruise. Like I didn't get a bruise or a bust arm, but like the shock of it going through the arm, like hurt me. I was like, oh, like when you bang your knee on a table or something with your elbow. I was like, oh, fuck, that hurt. And then I looked at him, and he looked at me, and then he put his leg down, and he just fell over. So but that's what I'm saying. Like in the old Shaolin manuscripts and in the martial arts stories, they talk about these happy accidents that happen from conditioning, and it's not so much that you're like Superman, but it's like that one time you make that mistake and you have to eat something. You can't, some people are really good and they can eat it every time. They're just super high level. But for the general practitioner, it's like you make one mistake. It's certainly because we're all busy training to get there. Once we're there, it doesn't matter. But whilst we're training to get there, we still have to survive. And then bang, you eat something, a bad kick, or you didn't move right, and you're still able to carry on. It hurt the hell out of my arm, for that moment. But then my arm was fine, and the lad just fell. He fell over on the floor. You know, yeah, and he was a martial artist too. So um, so yeah. Anyway, that that rock bag, awesome for training. Anyway, what's Christo Max said? Let's see. Christo Max says, just ignore negative ignorance. I saw that they claim you can't strengthen your hand, which isn't true. You can harden your hands, but your hands will always be a weak point regardless. Good job. Oh yeah, now that's another good point. Yeah, because a guy did come. Thanks, Christo. A guy did come on one of those. Oh, because I did a live stream training with the steel bag, and he was just conditioning on it. And again, like for me, I don't I don't see the problem, you know. Um, I don't see what the problem is. Like I know it's not for everyone, but it's a good thing. Fill it with sand, fill it with whatever you want. It can only help you for the bare knuckle. I don't see the problem. But yeah, this one guy came on the video and said like, oh, you can't, and just matter of fact was like, oh, bro, you can't condition your knuckles or your hands. All you can do is deaden the nerves. And I was like, where does this guy come from? Is he even a martial artist? Like, I think one of them was even saying they were like a someone someone came along saying they were like a second, third dan in taekwondo or something. And they were saying something, but yeah, this guy, whoever this guy was, he was like, yeah, you can't condition your hands, and I was just like, and then they cite some MMA stuff. Oh yeah, because there's loads of MMA fighters, and all they do is condition their hands, and they still break their hands. And I was like, hold on a minute, that that's the majority of them will tell you that they don't. They wear wraps and stuff. They wear wraps and gloves to train, because they can't afford to damage their hands in training. And then in the real fights, of course, they break their hands and stuff. And probably most people would. But yeah, so I said to him, I was like, look, bro, from my 19 years of experience of conditioning my knuckles and hands, I'm going to have to disagree with you. And then again, I like to be fair. So I said, like, so, and I think he was saying, I just said, bro, it's garbage what you're saying. I wasn't trying to be offensive. I was just like, no, you can condition your hands. And then he got insulted. He was like, oh, you're insulting me. And I was like, bro, come on. From my 19 years of conditioning, which is experience, it's not my opinion. From my 19 years of conditioning your hands and bones, I'm going to tell you, you can strengthen and toughen your knuckles and build them, and make them stronger. Um, oh no, you can't, and it's like, well, and citing these MMA guys and whatnot. It's like, oh, well, okay, well, listen, if you're not going to listen to me, then how's about Wonder Boy? What's his name? Wonder Boy. You know Wonder Boy, the MMA fighter. I forget his first name, but his dad conditions his hands. He conditions his hands. He's got videos about conditioning his hands on YouTube, and he's a top tier UFC fighter champion. And he's Stephen. Thank you, mate. Thanks, Christo. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Now he's put out videos saying in black and white saying, I condition my hands, I do these sort of old style conditionings, and I haven't broken my hands in a fight. So yeah, thanks for pointing out, Chris. So I said, I said to this guy on my comment, I was like, bro, like, so you've got my experience, which, is just me, but at least it's experience. It's not just me saying you can't do it. It's me saying, hey, bro, you can. And I've got 19 years of, like, 15 years or 16 years on my channel of me doing shit. And if you really want to, you can even see me like breaking shit, which doesn't mean I'm Jet Li. It just shows that my hands are a little bit durable, even if you discount most of the breaks and go, oh, that's physics, that's fake, like loads of people do all this fake. There's like coconut breaks where it's just flat on the table. I don't even touch it, bang. And then the main ones, that rebar bend, you know, like, no one can discount the rebar bend. If you can strike a piece of rebar and bend it with multiple hits, surely your hand is conditioned, and my hand didn't break. And you can probably, if you go back to that rebar bend from 9 years ago, or 7 or 8, 9 years ago, you'll probably see there's another video like a few days after it, and 2 weeks after it, or whatever. So you can, even if you were a detective, like some people are real big detectives on this thing, you could even go and you could find, because people have tried this before on me, and you could even find the next video I did, and you could see it was probably a breaking video, and you could see that my hand's fine. Like, if I did that video and then I never uploaded another video for 6 weeks, and then I didn't do any hitting with it or anything for ages after that, you could probably at least deduce and go, hold on a minute, I bet you broke your hand doing that. And yeah, I didn't. But anyway, that's beside the point there. So back to this comment, I was like, but these are good comments because it's opinions, but people just say them as if they're fact, It's like, and I'm like, okay, bro. So you've got my experience. You got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, UFC fighter, top tier, saying he conditions and he hasn't actually broken his hand in a fight or hurt it badly. Um, and then you've got that Phil Daru Strong. He's done a recent video with this English guy who's a bare knuckle boxer. And I like that because, the bare knuckle boxer guy that's on there, he doesn't know anything about iron palm. He doesn't know, and he's developed rudimentary conditioning of his knuckles through just old school training. And then he starts to demonstrate some stuff, and he's like, yeah, I just hit into this sandbag like this. And then if you listen to him, he goes on to say, yeah, I'll even hit the palm of my hand, I'll hit the back of my hand, I'll hit the side of my hand. And, he's like, you just hit it in all directions and it helps to strengthen the whole hand. And I was sitting there going like, man, I mean, I would love to I'm trying to get into, I mean, I could be trying harder, but I'm not a person who pushes myself on social media because it's kind of against, oh, even though I'm on the channel here now and I've got this channel, but you know what I mean? There's having a channel and training, and then there's really trying to like market your brand, which I don't particularly do. Come on, I don't edit very well. I don't do thumbnails. Most of my videos are just long drawn out, no editing, used to be better. But what I'm trying to say is, you see this boxer guy, you see what he's saying, you see what he's saying about the conditioning. And I was like, bro, that guy's getting on his way to Iron Palm. He's just doing Iron Palm training. So like I said to that guy, I was like, bro, if you don't believe me, and you don't believe Phil Wonderboy Thompson, and you don't believe this proper bare knuckle fighter who needs his knuckles to survive these bare knuckle fights, and says that it's different, and the mechanics are different, and the way you have to punch is different, and the things you can rely on are different, then if you don't believe those people, I just said to him on the comment, I was like, bro, even if it was just Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and he's awesome, I was like, even if it was just him saying you should condition, via default, I would listen to him because he's a UFC guy, proven. You can't denounce anything he's saying. Take me out of the equation, take the other bare knuckle guy out of the equation, even if it was just Wonderboy, because the other lad gave examples of UFC people saying that, oh, that if you condition it doesn't work, based on these people, even if it was just Wonderboy and you just listened to him, you took me and you took the other guy out of the equation. I mean, I'm a nobody. um, uh, I was like, bro, like, unless you're like a secret UFC champion and you've got some information for me, I'm sorry, I'm just going to listen to those guys, you know. And again, never heard anything back from the comment, so yeah, but I did, bit disappointing stuff like that, because I thought in general people and martial artists were past the whole like conditioning doesn't work thing. um but it still seems to be out there. So a few negative comments. Another thing on the black belt, what am I calling it? Black belt martial arts power is, of course, um, you know, one of the core weapons of like my system, if you want to call it, or IBMA, Iron Body Martial Arts, has always been the weighted staff. Like I'm one of the weapons I specialize in is in staff, because I've always loved it. 6 foot staff, 4 foot staff, mainly the bow staff. I just love the feel of those kinds of weapons, and cudgels and spears and those guandaos and stuff. And I've spent lots of time training those things. But one of the core weapons of my system, if you'd call it that, is the weighted staff, because there are a couple of masters in history who've trained weighted staff. Moeri Ushiba was one. He's the founder of Aikido, and also I'm gonna murder his name, but it's like Lam Sai Wing or whatever his name is. He's one of the Iron Wire masters. He's a famous Chinese kung fu master of Hung-Hua, which is a powerful form with a powerful kung fu, where iron wire comes from. A lot of the dynamic tension stuff has its origin there. Um, um, and yeah, so I love the weighted staff. So again, in my black belt martial arts power series, again, what I'm trying to do is put stuff out there and be like, I want to put a load of stuff that I think, black belt, my idea of a black belt, or at least for Iron Body martial arts or for anything, my idea of a black belt weapon stuff, powerful weapon, uh, and the weighted staff is such a good weapon, and it's not about it being a weapon, because it's not the greatest weapon. I mean, if you hit someone with it, you're gonna smash them to pieces. But it's the training of it. It strengthens your tendons. It's using like torque because it's so heavy. So you purposely train with it like the way you do, because it's heavy and you want to tax your tendons and your grip, and again all that, and the body movement. It's just an awesome weapon to get you to, again, it's stronger than you are all the time. So it's about movement as well. A great weapon. But again, I posted that on a short, which I shouldn't have done because I hate shorts. And yeah, someone was like, man, if this is a black belt, the black belt was for free or something like that. And I was just like, bro, Who's this freaking idiot? This is probably some idiot who watches like XMA, you know, that extreme martial arts where they jump around and spin. And fair enough on them. I like, you know, they're good. You know, I'm impressed by XMA. I mean, I think it's like I'm horrified by it. I think the guys are marvelous athletes and they do good stuff and they look good on TV. But personally, XMA horrifies me, you know, because I just look at it and I go, Jesus, like this is so far removed from like the its traditional like lineage, and none of the stuff that they're doing, it's all movie foo as we used to call it, you know, all these super spins and stuff like that with staffs that weigh like as little as possible, a few grams or something like that. I guess they're trying to be a bit kind of Shaolin-y with it, but also the modern Shaolin, a lot of the modern Shaolin stuff is wushu as well. It's staffs that barely weigh anything and it looks great, but that doesn't mean that it is good. And that's another downfall of martial arts and another downfall of Kung Fu. I mean, in Kung Fu, they call it flowery movements because it's got no force. If you chucked a real staff at a lot of those people, they wouldn't be able to do half of what they do, you know. And then, you know, get tired and again, but if you chucked it, if they did it with a heavy staff, well, they would only be able to do half of it, but I tell you what, they'd be a lot. Their bodies would develop a lot tougher, a lot stronger. You know, they would be a lot more powerful. Oh, yeah, thanks for the thumbs up there, brother. Um, Interactive art saying Wonder Boy is 100% traditional martial artist and his old man upstate karate. Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. And that's what I said to that other lad. I was like, look, you can take me out of the equation, what my stupid opinion is. If you don't want to listen to some like tough British bare knuckle boxer guy, you don't have to listen to him. But he's basically doing Iron Palm on Chris Darrow's channel. He's showing you, he's punching a sandbag, you know, and he's even saying, oh, do it with your palm and the back of your hand because it like strengthens all your hands. He's saying he does it at home. I was like, if you don't want to listen to him, you know, then you know, then listen to at least listen to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. If you don't want to listen to that guy, then you know, I don't know, you know, there's no one left. You know, there's like, yeah, I was confused. But yeah, anyway, back to the staff video I put. Like, man, that staff weighs 10 kilos. It's between like 8.5, 9 or 10 kilos. It's something like that. I've weighed it and it seems to be sometimes it's a bit more, but that stuff, for want of a better thing, weighs 10 kilos. Even if you want to call it 8 kilos and take away some, but it's like 9 point something something. That staff I'm spinning in that video weighs 10 kilos. And this loser comes on and they're like, they obviously don't know what they're looking at. And they're like, oh man, if that's black belt, then that's for free. That black belt was for free. And I'm like, bro, come on, bro. Like, what does someone have to do to not get flamed by these losers? You know, and then luckily there's a load of like awesome people who've come on and gone, bro, people who have an eye, they've come on and gone, oh shit, bro, is that a weights bar that you're spinning around like a Joe staff, like a 4 foot staff, like a 5 foot staff? You're using a weights bar as a staff when most staffs weigh 500 grams, even heavy ones, like a red oak bow staff weighs like 500 grams or 600 grams, and not even a kilo. And then those are considered heavy, you know, maybe a kilo max, not even. Because I remember we used to get them in our jiu-jitsu club, and the red oak ones, we'd be like, oh yeah, you know, this is a heavy one. And I just used to laugh, you know, because I'd be like, bro, this is not a heavy staff. You know, those are like toothpicks to me, you know, because I train with the iron staff. But yeah, again, it's not about it's just about toughening up the body. You know, if it's like it's funny because the people who appreciate it more sometimes are these manga people because they see it in the mangas. You know, they see all these funny things. A guy, you know, he trains with like pants that weigh like made out of concrete. You know, or Goku. You know, Goku takes his boot off and his boots like boom crashes into the ground. You know, I love that. You know, we all kind of there's a lot of us who grew up on that old stuff, you know, and now there's a bit of a resurgence with those mangas. I didn't really have access to that many mangas, but um, yeah, but anyway, I guess the bad comments will always come. But luckily, it just seems to be from ignorant people. I even called out that one who said about the toothpick stuff, about the heavy stuff. I was like, bro, look, it doesn't look amazing. It doesn't look the best. It's just me spinning it and like moving slow through a few forms, flowing through the forms. But I was just like, nah, I'm not having that. I don't usually rise to stuff like that. But I was like, bro, I called that thing out. I posted on my channel. I was like, mate, I'm calling you out on this. I want you to post something and show us. Get a 10 kilo staff and show us some stuff, you know. And I bet you that loser's gone to like Kmart and bought that staff that's in Kmart, you know, the barbell little set there. And he's gone home and gone, oh, I'm going to show them. And then he's tried to even like hold it like as if it's a sword and he can't even do that. You know, I've had people do that before. You know, I've had some people send me like, say stuff like that and then be so stupid and mad that they've sent me, and because I'm an honorable person I didn't upload them, but I've had people literally flame me, and then especially about the staff, and then I've had them send me like videos, of them doing it, because they thought my one was fake or something like that. And people do some weird shit, but under the promise that I'm not gonna like send it out, and I haven't done. And some people have sent me some funny shit, man, like them trying to do like even a few spins. And I'm not saying it's funny because they've sent it to me in a positive way. I'm saying they've interactive, donkey, yes. I'm saying they've sent it to me like as in like, you're full of crap, like here's a video of me proving how good I am. And then I've literally like had to say to them like, bro, like, I tell you what, you can publish that online if you want, and I'll even share it for you on my channel, and I'll introduce it, and I'll be like, I'll let the people decide. But um, it's not going to go good for you, I don't think, brother, because I think you've got like rose tinted version of what you can do there. Sorry. Um, and then like, yeah, I think one guy got like close to, he was like, yeah, no, do that. I'll get back to you. And then he never got back to me, so I never put it up. So yeah, funny. Max, hey Max, how you going, mate? Max is always around. Thanks for the comments, Max. I've seen you on the videos, brother. Um, yeah, Max used to use a barbell until I bought a Red Oak staff. Yeah, good, good. And Max will be able to tell you, man. That's you can't use it the same. But it's like I had a friend who did Aikido, and he was fascinated about how, and he used to tell me stories about how Morita Yushibai used to use a piece of rebar as a steel staff, and he was big into his staff training. Then I was always big into my staff training, and then I actually see he never did train with a metal staff, but I did. I got one, and I was like, oh well, if it was good enough for Morita Yushiba, it's good enough for me. And I started training with it, and years and years later, I met him years and years later on the beach. He lives in Guernsey, and me and him were sitting on the beach, and I told him, and I said, James, do you realize what the point of training with a metal staff is? Because he was like, yeah, it's to train your muscles and this and that. And I said to him, I looked at him and I went, mate, it's not to train your muscles. It's to not train your muscles. And he just looked at me and he was like, because he's half Japanese and, into his martial arts and stuff. And he just looked at me and he was like, he kind of gave me the look of like, Brett, that is like the dumbest but wisest thing you've ever said. In that, it was just a moment we had. But he knew that I knew. He didn't know, but he knew that I knew. Because he was, he said, because I asked him, what do you think it's for? And he was like, yeah, to train the muscles and this and that. And I looked at him, I was like, no, bro, no. You do Aikido, you should know this. Training with the steel staff is not to train your muscles. I mean, even though I just said, trains your muscles and this and that, but the more you train it, you learn the movement of the staff, and then you learn to use the staff with no energy, with no effort. And that's like, there's like an Aikido within the staff. There's like a perfection where you learn the steel staff and you move it around with minimal energy. I actually have to reverse that because I can move it around with little to no energy and get it to go fast and do what I want and float around it. But I don't want to do that. I actually want to use it, for the training of a specific muscle or something like that. So these days I tend to just do half and half, like I'll be there doing really like slow motions to work specific muscles. And then once I get a bit bored of that and I get a bit tired, I'll be like, and just kind of throw it around. Anyway, but Max will know that. But I think Max, I think you asked me a question about the flurry, bow flurry kata. Um, and for some reason, your comment appeared on the video, but then it disappeared. I saw it like on my notifications on my email. But yes, I was doing the bow flurry, which I like to do. I mean, that one's great. You do the blow flurry and that burns your forearms. You do it with a metal staff and it's great. Um, and yeah, if you pick up speed, it is difficult. Yeah. But yes, good for kamae training and striking. Yes, yes. Um, there's as you know, there's loads of different versions of it. I'm there's always like instructors who say it's four different things, but I'm always of the opinion with the blow flurry that it's it's like you can use like a back step, and you can use your planted leg to generate like a lot of power for like a upward strike, and then the second one can be a strike. But then for me there's a rearrangement of your hands, so that so that like you can stand there and do the one where you just go like this and it just flurries in front of you, and they say, oh, it's just to hold the center line. But then I tend to slow it down and do a bit of a hand change, so that like I'm getting lower down on the staff again. In other words, you're striking, there's a bit of a spin, and you're back at the bottom end of your staff, so that you've got the distance on your staff. Because to me, like a lot of the traditional karate stuff with the staff, I prefer the jiu-jitsu stuff, because the karate stuff, you're using a 4-foot staff and you're holding it in the middle, and you've only got like 2 foot, like one and a bit foot here and one and a bit foot here. And to me, like, that's not a good way of using the staff, I don't think, because as you know, as you guys know, with the jiu-jitsu use of the staff and a lot of the kung fu, some of the kung fu stuff, you like more like the spear. You want the reach. The power of a staff is in the reach of the staff. So yeah. That's something I've always been big on, is like, don't fight with 3 foot of a 4-foot staff. Don't fight with 2 foot of a 6-foot staff. You fight like, just like in the battlefield, if you had a spear, the worst thing in the world you could do is fight with 2 foot or 1 foot of your spear. Why do you think they made the spears so long? Like battlefield spears, Japanese, probably in Chinese too. Um, there's examples of spears, and in Europe, these spears are like 8.5, 9 foot long, big halberds, because no one, that's the power of the staff, is the distance. Yeah, when I see a lot of these forms where I mean, it's different a little bit with the rattan staff, but it's still the same. When I see a lot of these forms where they're fighting and I know as well, it's depending on what country you're in, and like there's an argument with the Japanese stuff, and it's the wood. There's like a harder wood, and they didn't have this wood, and there's the whole wood argument. But in general, I just think personally, it's not a good idea. I'll do some videos on it. I have got some videos on it in the past, but it's not a good idea to fight with. When I see these forms, even the Kung Fu forms, even the Yonshin Gun, pronouncing it terrible, but even the first Shaolin form with the stick, it's an awesome form. I love it. But there's a few very short movements with the stick where it's close. And to me, the only time you would do those is if like an attacker had inadvertently got close to you, and you just had no room left. and you just had to do that because that's the worst thing you can do with the stick is have that distance destroyed. So yeah, there has to be a few moves in the katas to hit them away. But I did some study with some traditional Goju-ryu guys, and yeah, I did not like their staff work because I'd done traditional Japanese staff work, lots of it from Jiu-Jitsu, but I just did not like the Goju stuff because again, most of it was here, close, and you know, and and it was really it's typical karate, nice kabuto, good stuff, powerful, and it would work. But to me, I was like, man, I just way prefer, you know, I way prefer holding the last foot of the staff and spearing it out, swinging it out, really like Joe style, like Joe Jutsu style, really using that end of the staff, almost as if it's like a sword, not not this double up staff stuff. Oh, Max says he meant Goho no Kata. Yeah, sorry, Max. I can't remember what Goho no Kata is, man. It's been a long, it's been a good few years since I did the traditional jujitsu, stuff, and where I was saying the names of the katas and stuff. Maybe I never did that one. I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, back to my point. And thanks for the thumbs up, guys, and the tunes in. Um, and old interactive arts here too. Back to my point. Yeah. So the series of videos that I did, that I'm doing, this black belt martial arts power. Don't worry. I'm not selling out. I'm not trying to. I don't know. I'm not trying to do anything. But my point is to try and like start a dialogue, chuck some videos out there. What do we expect a black belt can do? And just put some stuff out there. And of course, I've used the title. I wanna try and grab a few more viewers and stuff, but I am a bit starting to regret it, because these videos have like my usual videos get like 200, 300 views. These videos have, um, with excerpts of my live training, and that's the point. Because I did these 2 hour long sessions or hour long sessions of live training, and a few of you guys were there. I know some of the cool guys were there, but so many people haven't seen so much stuff in those videos. I probably shouldn't even put it out there, just like a lot of people say, just don't put it out there for free. But my point is that most people, the really interested people, will watch it and they learn from it that long, not learn, and they get different ideas, and that's the whole point. It's like awesome. And the people who are just fakers or not interested or don't have time, or doing their proper classes, they won't watch it and they won't see those things, and then it doesn't matter. um, but um but yeah, so Andre says open a gym. Yes, well, my life has been in chaos, Andre. And I would love to open a school. I was doing one in the UK. In the UK, I did a few workshops because I had my jiu-jitsu school that I was like a vice instructor of this jiu-jitsu school, traditional jiu-jitsu. Um, and we also used to train other stuff. So I basically brought Iron Body martial arts into that. Interactive arts is easier said than done, yes. So we used to do that then. I did take Iron Body martial arts to some karate clubs, um, uh, in Wales, at least one. Did a big demo with them and conditioning and training. That was great. They really enjoyed it, and then I think I went back one more time, and then shortly after that, I left. Here, I have approached a couple of clubs, like really recently. A couple of months ago, I approached one. Um, and I guess I'm just not sure how to approach it. Like, I kind of approached one guy and I said, I think it's just about having faith in the sort of what you've set up. I approached one instructor and I said, hey man, like, look, do you need any other instructors? Because, I'm I'm trained in this, I do this, I do that, and I'm kind of specialized in this kind of conditioning stuff and this and that and the next thing. And the moment you start saying all that, people aren't people aren't that interested, it seems. It's weird. And then now I've kind of gone a bit more front foot, which isn't like, look, I don't like to have overconfidence. I don't like, I'm a bit bad at selling myself, but I've taken the front foot and I did approach one club. I sent them a message and I said, hey, look, guys, I specialize in this kind of like combat conditioning, whatever you want to call it, Shaolin Kung Fu stuff, blah, blah, blah. I wrote it nicely. I said, look, are you interested in running some workshops? Because I figured a good thing to do would be to run some workshops. Look, at the moment, I can't, like, the easiest thing to do would be join a gym, like I did in a couple of years ago when I was in the other area I lived. I joined an MMA gym. I used to go there. I used to do my conditioning. I used to do the classes. And my hope was I would work my way in, do some fights and stuff like that. I was training BJJ. And then the guys would get interested in the conditioning I was doing. But pretty much everyone just ignored me and didn't. I wasn't there long enough for them to kind of bring me into the fold where I could have started having an influence, and they just kept me on the outside, which was fine. And my job didn't allow me to commit. And then I had kids, and that screwed all that up. Um, so the kids is like, one of the kids is 1 year old and one of the kids is 2 years old now, and now it's getting to the point where I've got a little bit more time. I've been doing my training, and yeah, so I approached this gym. I sent them a message, haven't heard anything back. I approached a couple of months. I approached a guy in person, local. He's got his own club. It's big. Um, I don't know how successful it is. It's a bit of like a karate, self-defense, mixy place, but he has the facilities. So I approached him. I said, "Hey, bro, like, I want to join your club. I want to train, but I'm also, are you interested in instructor? Blah blah blah." And that kind of, he sort of said, "Yeah, but people have let me down, and come and join the club. Do 2 weeks training, and maybe we can do like a bit of a trade sort of thing." Um, so yeah. More recently, just to finish off, I emailed this guy again and I just said, like, hey, bro, like, I thought I've got to start putting a bit more of a solid front foot forward. So I said, look, hey, I'm so and so, I specialize in traditional martial arts conditioning, Kung Fu, Okinawan conditioning, if you want to call it. Um, uh, these kinds of conditioning things to benefit fighters, to benefit your Muay Thai guys, to benefit your karate people. I've also got this jiu-jitsu background, so all the weapon stuff, I'm pretty good at that. Staff is something I specialize in. Sword, I even do. Nunchuck, I do. If you guys want to have a bit of weapons to like make people, be excited about it or whatever. Um, and also another thing I specialize in is stance training and like skeletal alignment, power delivery, and that sort of thing. Like working with students to like correct their imbalances and stuff like that, get them moving correctly. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, so I'll let you guys know what happens with that. But I sent that to the guy. Um, yeah, I sent that off, and I'm hoping to get a response. Because I think that'd be good. Because I can't, because of the kids, I can't commit to classes, regular classes, and I work away. I do week on, week off. So at the moment, I can't commit to like regular classes. Even to go there and train with the guy. But I'm getting to a point where I can. So I figured, oh, well, a good thing to do would be to do like workshops and see if I can go to dojos and do workshops with them and just promote the stuff. But yeah, it's at the infancy stages. Anyway, what do we got here? Sorry, Andre, I went on about that for too long. Andre says, I learn and get inspired by you for more than 5 years now. Thank you. Well, thank you, Andre. It's an honor for you to say something like that. Um, Interactive said, Andre, I hope you have jumped on board the Udemy course for Iron Palm. Oh, well, I mean, if Andre's been following the channel for that long, he's probably, he's seen a lot of the stuff. Christo Max has 100% learned from your videos. You're extremely knowledgeable and a true martial artist. Hey, yeah, no, well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. Hold on, I just got a message here. Hopefully, one of the kids is. How do I get into this thing? No, I really appreciate that, guys. But yeah, I'm trying. Look, I've been I've been here on YouTube for years. I've been doing this for years, and I'm just trying to. Oh no, just the kids. Yeah, one of our kids is my wife's got COVID, or she's got COVID um, the last couple of days, and then the little one, the 2-year-old's got COVID, but he's got a high temperature, 39.4. He's had a high temperature. We obviously haven't left him with a high temperature. We keep giving him Panadol, and the temperature's coming down. But yeah, it's just a bit of a nightmare. These kids, poor kids, sick. Yeah. Um, Chris Mack, 100% learn from your videos, your extreme knowledge from true martial arts. Yeah, well, thanks, Chris. But you see, that's the thing. I'm the same as you guys. I'm just someone who enjoys training, and I only put stuff up there that I train. And I don't try and profess that it's like amazing, or I just, yeah. But having said that, again, like with this Black Belt Martial Arts Power series of videos that I'm doing, um, I'm trying to grab a few more people now, because, like, there's so many channels out there. Everyone's trying to succeed, aren't they? I originally made my channel to like document what I was doing and get it out there, and hopefully get a group, together, and there is a big group on this channel. Everyone's so busy and stuff like that. And, but yeah, ultimately my goal, once the channel started picking up, is like, man, this would be awesome if I could get this channel to grow enough where, I can do stuff with it. And yeah, in 15 or 16 years, or however long the channel's been going, it just hasn't quite done that. And that's also my fault, because I haven't tried to brand assassinate it. I've just kept making my same old videos. I haven't paid attention to the algorithm. I've just put up stuff that I think is important and chucked it on there. And there's a couple of people who, are interested, and, it's their cup of tea. And, I've always known it's a niche area, and that's kind of where I sit. But it would be good, because you've got channels out there like that Armchair Violence guy. Um, you know, that kid who literally popped up the other day, comparatively. He's literally like just popped up on YouTube like a couple of years ago, and you can go on his channel, and I don't know how many. It's like, I don't know, 60,000 or 70,000 subscribers or whatever. And you can just find channel, and there's lots of super good ones, but you can just find channel after channel after channel of like mediocre channel. And I'm not saying I'm obviously less than mediocre, because there's like mediocre channel that I wouldn't even watch 5 seconds of what they do, and I'm just like, that's terrible. And there's just the view count, and some of the opinions out there are just so closed. I mean, I'm not, this is a traditional martial arts conditioning channel, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not here trying to sell people like, this brainwashed version of like, this is the only thing you can do. And, you can use this to beat up any MMA fighter. And, MMA is not real life. And, real life is, rah, and you scratch people's eyes out and you float like a Ashita Kim. I'm not indoctrinated in the crap. But these guys are like reverse indoctrinated in their crap. A couple of years ago, you got Icy Mike there trying to tell us that, you know, oh, don't punch, don't punch anything bare knuckle, heavy bag. And I know he tried to make some weird video about not punching stuff with your knuckles. But the funny thing is, the reverse psychology of it is so funny that I don't understand why people can't see it. It's just the age old adage of, what you can't do, you try and come up for a reason why other people shouldn't do it. It's like, I can't swim, so I'm going to come up with loads of reasons why you shouldn't swim. oh man, there's like sharks in there. There's like, it's got that liquid stuff and you can't breathe it. You can't breathe the liquid and, you know, and there's just no way, I've tried to breathe the liquid and, it just goes into your lungs and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, bro, hold your breath. Hold your breath, brother. I mean, it's probably a terrible analogy, but you get where I'm coming from, and like I don't see how adults, how people who have the intelligence to use these phones and watch things, I don't see how they don't have the intelligence to go, hold on a minute. Well, I think most of them do, but they're the quiet majority, like we all are. Like this, my channel is almost like the quiet majority channel, you know, and the loud minority are peddling their shit, you know, and you can put me in that category if you want, but I'm not going to put myself in that category. But the loud minority are just peddling their shit and getting hundreds of thousands of views because everyone must be a clown, you know. I don't know. Well, not everyone, but yeah, and then you got I see Mike trying to tell you not to punch, and loads of people have done videos on that now. I did one on it, but since then, loads of people have done videos on I see Mike's thing. Like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, don't punch the bag. Like, oh man, crazy. Interactive Art says Icy Mike with paper knuckles. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, actually, a really good one is there's a guy called like Combat Physio or something, and he did a video response um, to uh, Armchair Violence, Armchair Violence bro science video because it was hilarious. I mean, it's so many years ago now; it's not even worth talking about. But yeah, Armchair Violence made a video saying that conditioning is bro science, but he used bro science to explain why it's bro science. So he literally made up his own bro science, which I was pissing myself laughing. I was like, the irony of this. This guy is using bro science. So the like, what would you say? The how would you explain it? The like summary of bro science is like half understood, kind of made up science that like, I don't know if there is a summary, but you know what I mean. Like the summary of bro science is like, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I've got a vague idea and I've heard this from this person or someone told me this and I tell you it and it's science. And literally that's what that little guy did. Is he like literally like Wikipedia some stuff, had no understanding, tried to make up all this, and that's why great that Combat Physio did a whole video just absolutely destroying his video because Combat Physio. So once again, if you have a qualified physiotherapist, like who he also even specializes in that area of like bone and whatever, and that guy's done a whole video on why, like, he agrees with some of what um, Armchair Violence says, but that's just generic concepts like, you know, pressuring your bones makes them stronger. But the main majority of his argument, he just slaughtered, and he was like, "No, this doesn't even make sense." Blah 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 blah. Blah. Anyway, so we'll leave that behind. But so anyway, guys, let me know. Get in contact. Give me your comments. Max was on here before. I did see his comment about the striking on the iron ball bearing bag, the steel bag that I was using. Um, let me know. What do you guys think of the Black Belt Martial Arts Power series? If you know the channel, you would have seen some of the stuff, but there's probably a lot of stuff you wouldn't have seen because, and also not a lot of what I do is in like little digestible chunks. So I'm going to be putting out a bunch more videos under this banner of Black Belt Martial Arts Power, and yeah, just as a bit of an explanation for you guys, the gist of it is, as I said before, that it's like wanted to start a dialogue of what do I expect or what do we expect a black belt to be able to do? What are the core principles that they should have? It doesn't really matter what martial art they're in, but I'm like every black belt needs this. They might not need it for their martial art, but I'm just generalizing here. It's just a bunch of cool shit that it's like, yeah, you want to have strong grip. Yeah, you want to have toughened conditioned bones. Yeah, if you want to do some weapon training, do some weapon training, because martial arts is the primarily martial arts evolved from weapon use. So if your martial art that you do doesn't involve weapons, do a bit of weapon training, even if it's like on your own at home, get an idea about how weapons work, because it's like the spirit of martial arts, you know. So, there, and then yeah, like you've got my weighted staff video, where I'm using the weapon to strengthen and condition my body even more. That sort of thing. Then you've got the rock bag, and it's like, okay, so if you're a black belt, we need to toughen our body a bit, or at least we need to toughen our striking tools, because we're going to have to, you might get kicked, you're going to have to check some kicks or whatever, even if it's just sport martial art. So I'm like, yeah, that rock bag training that I did, that's great, because it's not iron body stuff. It's not smacking your own body, like as in your chest and your stomach, which a lot of people, which is boxers do it, but if you do it on a martial arts channel, people think you're mad. But boxers do it with the medicine balls and stuff like that, and get people to punch them in the stomach. But they get a free pass on it because it's boxing. And then if I do it, they're like, oh, what's this on there? This is a waste of time. But anyway, it's not about that. This is really practical. I thought rock bag, striking the arms, and I didn't make it up today. I didn't just make it up. The cool thing is it's from a video. It's from an old video on my channel. It's a live training video. You can go and find the video. You just have to look for the same background. So that's cool as well. It's like, no, he's not just made this up now. He's not just doing it today. This is something that he's inherently done. He's got the training stuff to do it. It's not bullshit. It's not just made it up for views. So yeah, rock bag on the arms. And yeah, the rock bag eats into your muscles, it eats into your arms. It's heavy because it's full of black river rocks. But dude, it's great on your own. It's great analog for checking kicks, for taking the kicks, even if it's for the one that you take by mistake, because your plan is not to block kicks like that. But if you want to be an insane bastard and you want to harden yourself to the point where you can just destroy kicks like this, which you probably never will be able to do, but if you want to try that, you can. And I tell you what, the rock bag is just as evil as a kick. If not, you might catch some kicks. Because I've done some sparring in my time and caught some kicks and been like, oh, the kick didn't even feel like it was there. Because the kick, the rock bag is more evil than the kick, and that's how it works. That's how it works. Not all of the training tools are like that, but the rock bag is like that. That's its job, is to be more evil than most of the other things that a human can do to you. So that when you get hit by the human, you're just like, oh, this wasn't that bad at all. Cool. Trap Tony says, keep working, keep positive. You're the best. Oh, well, thanks, Trap Tony. Thanks for that, brother. So yeah, so also, I appreciate, uh, you know, share those videos, comment on them. They've already got great views, and even the negative comments on them are like a chance for learning, because good people come on them, say some negative shit, and we can talk about it, or challenge them, get them to put up some stuff. Because at the end of the day, the videos are about they're about what does our hypothetical not manga, but what do we expect of a black belt? In any given art, it doesn't have to be. I'm not saying in every art, but it's like, okay, if that is your art, if your art is some weird kind of kung fu where you got to be really tough and kick shit and do all this, what do we expect of you? Yeah, okay, hard hands, striking your bones, you're doing some crazy breaking, da da da. I'm going to put the other stuff too. There's the headstand training, the iron head training. There's also movement training as well, strength and flexibility stuff. So it's not all about trying to make yourself, Iron Man. It's also about movement, stances and flexibility, all these things. So I'm hoping under that banner, because if you post like a stance, usually if you post like a stance flexibility video, like just no one really watches it, no, because not many people are interested. Recently though, like I've done loads of horse stance videos, and now I've noticed, I've been looking online, horse stance seems to have become this big fad. And what annoys me is that there's channels out there. So there's the Bioneer, awesome channel. We all love the Bioneer. I don't watch him as much as I should, but there's the Bioneer. There's like this other fitness channel I saw today, and these guys are getting like hundreds of thousands of views on like a horse stance video, like it's like something new. And to be fair, they present it way more interestingly and better, better editing and all that, and also really good science and good stuff. Like I love that Bioneer guy. Um, but it is like it is annoying for like the shitty garage gym people like me, who've like been touting horse stance and stance training for like years, at people like do this, and there's videos, and the videos get like 300 views or 200 views or 1,000 views in like 10 years. But yeah, that's my fault, for just the way they are. But it's still good. It's there, at least if anyone says like, oh, you're just joining the fad, I can be like, well, no, go back, go back a couple of years. Christo Max says Dan Henderson is made out of steel. You touch him and you can feel his hardened body because he's trained his entire life. Yeah, bro. Like, you know how it is, Chris, mate. Um, did we all used to have that like old school like sensei or instructor? I had one in Kenya. In Kenya, when I was a kid, obviously I was a kid then though, so I was a lot less tough. But I trained in Mombasa. Um, Mombasa Karate and Judo Academy. It was Shotokan at the time, but it was Kodokan Judo Shotokan Karate Mombasa Academy. And what was the sensei's name? He it wasn't Mr. Nagib. It was damn, I forget his name. Um, that's a sacrilege. Yeah, it'll come back to me. But anyway, again, that guy was just a African guy. Like, and again, you can say what you want about Shotokan, but this guy, he's just trained his Shotokan. And even me now, I lost heart with Shotokan, and I wouldn't train it now, or if I did, I would train it differently, because it's an awesome martial art, and I trained it for years, but it's not, to me, it's not, it's, if you want to do karate, do Okinawan karate. Like even now, if I was like a fifth dan in Shotokan, I would just give up Shotokan and go and practice Uichi-ryu, Goju-ryu, or something like that. And that's the reason why I study like Kung Fu, because for me, like, okay, old is not always best. But if you find a martial art and then you find its parent system, especially with the traditional arts, there's always stuff lost between the parent and the student system, or whatever you want to call it. There's always stuff lost. I've seen that so many times. So, and definitely, between like, even between the Okinawan systems and like the Kung Fu systems of their origin, like, you've got the old Goju Ryu and White Crane Kung Fu. There's stuff there's a few things, there's stuff that gets lost and changed. Although that's interesting, because a lot of Kung Fu guys say that like White Crane is not as hard as it used to be, and that White Crane used to be more like its current Okinawan ancestor. So it seems that White Crane developed, and the Okinawans kept it more like it was, and that was with regard to the level of conditioning. So the level of training, a bit similar to Uichi-ryu, the level of deadliness of these guys, like, it was just simple shit they were doing, but it was just deadly crap, like, like the Boshiken, trained so that you can, break pine with it, boom, so that if you get someone in the Adam's apple with that Boshiken, boom, they're gone, or solar plexus or whatever, wherever you want to do the strikes, they were just deadly strikes. It would be the throat, really. You wouldn't need to Boshiken, you wouldn't need to Boshiken someone anywhere else than there. Plus, it wouldn't go with the Goju principle, hard and soft. Hard target, hard tool, soft target, hard tool. Soft target, hard target, soft tool. That's just the smallest, simplest beginning principle of Goju. But anyway, I'm digressing. But what I was saying was, we've all had that freaking that one old school master, usually like in some kind of karate or kung fu, and they're just solid, they're just tough, they're just hard guys, and it's just from simple stuff, it's just years of being a hard bastard and just doing training, you know, just training, and I love it. I love it. I'm not there, guys. I'm not there. I want to be there, but I'm not. But I'm trying. I'm trying my hardest through the pitfalls of life. But I'm better than I would have been if I'd done nothing. And that's all any of us can do, isn't it? So yeah. I wonder why this little kid hasn't woken up for his milk yet. He's trying. He's waiting. Let's have a look. But yeah, anyway, so again, cool. So yeah, so thanks. Thanks for the guys who supported the channel. Thank you as well to the Patreon guys and the guys who've checked out the Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand course on Udemy. Someone did ask me for a coupon code for that. And then when you answer a comment on your comments on your YouTube, when you answer a comment, it like disappears. Now I can't find it again. But someone did want a coupon code, so because I like giving people discounts on that because it is expensive. I didn't price it. I priced it at the range that a lot of the courses are, but I opted it out of their personal sales that they do because I know it's a niche thing. Not many people are going to want to do this kind of conditioning, so there's no point of it selling at like $2 or $1 because there's just no one's going to buy it. And then the people who have bought it, they're like, what the hell? They feel cheated, and also it took a lot of effort to make. It's a lot of knowledge in there, and it took 40 hours just to make, and that's without the filming. So to literally, I was off work sick. The story is I was off work sick for a week, and I'd been planning this and building it. So you can't even count that time. But I was off work sick for a week. I can't remember what it was. I think I had shingles actually, and I built the thing, on the Udemy system, the course, and did all the sections and the addings and this and that. And then I already had the filming and that I put in. And then when I was better, I went and did some more filming and put it in. So if you took the hours that it took to build that course, it's more than 40 hours, but I know that it's 40 hours of actually putting it all together, which may not sound like, but it's a whole work week. That's a long time, so yeah, it's pretty much like a book almost, so it's awesome. And it's a never ending resource because although I haven't done it yet, I've been adding, because you can add videos to it as extra resources. And when I come up with a video that I think fits in, I'll add it into the resources, So, the people can just keep learning from it. And of course, they can always keep learning from the channel, which is awesome. So the people who bought that as well, that's great. It's not, it's not broken the bank. It's not given me, thousands of dollars to do anything with, but it's awesome. It's appreciated. And the main thing is that the guys who bought it have been genuinely interested, and they've rated it well. They haven't, these people who've paid good money for that thing, and it's not cheap. And yeah, they've got some discounts, but it's only like 25% or 50% or whatever. I don't ever think I did a 50% one, but anyway, it's not super cheap. And they would definitely tell you if it was shit. And if you look at the reviews on it, I wish I had that many friends to make me that many fake reviews, but I don't. If you look on the reviews, they're good, which is awesome. The guys have thought it was good. Yeah, which means a lot to me. Because it's the core. It's like a core bunch of my knowledge. It's no secrets either. It's all stuff that's on my channel. And actually, it's probably all stuff that's also going to come out on this Black Belt Martial Arts Power series of videos, which is good. It's just these little excerpts of bits of training, which is cool. I'm just trying to think if there's any more negative comments I want to talk about, because I've been keeping things positive. Is there any more? Nah, we've got them. We've got the guy who says you can't condition your fists. I don't know where he got that from. We've got the guy who says spinning the steel staff as my black belt must have been for free. Then I called him out and said, go on, I want to see you do something. And a few other clowns here and there. But anyway, that's it really. I'd appreciate your guys' views. And please, tell me your ideas. Oh, you can always come on to, what is it, the Patreon, Iron Body Martial Arts there. I think you can join and follow the channel without paying anything. And then you can still see the posts, because most posts that I put up on there are like for everyone to see. So that's cool. And it's a good way to put stuff on there, and I think people can contact me through it as well, which is cool. So it's a good way. The tiers of Patreon have kind of died off. I keep meaning to delete them actually, because I've kind of put a disclaimer in each tier, because each tier was meant to be like how much what's the word, how much interactivity the person wanted. And I was always clear with the tiers as like, look, and everyone who's joined on the tiers, I kind of feel a bit bad for them, but if you have joined and then you've left, please contact me. Because I know there's been stages where I've been a bit missing on there. But when everyone joins on those tiers, I have always been clear, and it says in the blurb, it's like it needs to be like, there is obviously a bunch of stuff on there for people to see straight away. But my idea with that was that people joined onto the tiers, and then pretty much straight away I'd say, hey man, look, great, thanks for coming. Tell me a bit about yourself. Tell me about what you want to do, like what what your strengths, what were your weaknesses, what we're going to work on. But then I need a bit of a back and forward, and pretty much with everyone I never really got that back and forward, what I was expecting. And that, because that's what I was trying to do, kind of like a closed door thing. What I was expecting was, send a video, send a thing of them training, an update. And, and quite a few people sort of started to do a little, but I don't think I ever really, maybe I got one or two videos, but it didn't really happen how I thought it was going to happen. And then I did put a disclaimer on each tier where I was like, well, look, if you want to contribute this much to the channel, if you want to just support the channel by contributing for $8, $10 or whatever, you can. Like, it was a bit of a disclaimer really, like, like you can either do this and this and get these many hours of this, or or if you don't send me anything, or you don't contact me back when I contact you, I'll just presume that you're just supporting the channel. And that's pretty much where most of those went. So yeah, the systems that I really hoped, Udemy just didn't pan out to be what I hoped it would be. And the system on both ends, the user system, and the teacher interface or the channel interface is never really updated as much as other things, um, you know, online, like TikTok and this, you can paste videos, you can do this, you can do that, and it's just it doesn't seem to have kept up with Udemy. Um, but yeah, so anyway, sorry to go on about that, but yeah, anyway, thanks for the Udemy people who support. You can go on there. Um, you can join it without having to pay anything, and then you can see the updates and see the videos. And I just wanted to build a bit of a community on there, but it's just what it has turned into is just it's just a core group of people who are on there. They see content, and I'm presuming because no one contacts me that much on there, that they're just like legends who just support the channel, which is awesome. It really does help me. Sometimes that's helped me pay bills, like literally keep food on the table, in between jobs and stuff, because I left the cops 2 years ago, and I was working as a driller's offsider, and I was what do you call casual. And then I got COVID, and so yeah, no, I really appreciate all the Udemy guys. And really, if you are on the Udemy or you're here, just please don't hesitate to get in contact. Send a video, do whatever. Just I owe those guys big time. And again, if any of them contact me, and they don't have it already, I'll gladly give them a free link to the course that I did, the Udemy course, which is worth like $70, and it's a good course, just for supporting me, in that thing, yeah, really appreciate that. Oh, Batman Keith, Batman Matrix has been a while. Always good to see you still training. Oh, Batman Keith, legend. Well, I'm just here talking, bro. I'm just here, bloody flapping my gums at the moment. But yeah, I have been talking about a bunch of videos that I've just put out, um, which are mainly clips from older live streams that I did. So I'm just chopping up. I found them on my pad. I'm chopping up live streams, getting good bits. And the general gist of it is black belt martial arts power, which you would definitely feature well in there, Keith, with your sorts of training as well. Is that it's kind of like videos that I wanted to do of what do we expect, or what do I expect, or what do we expect of a black belt? Like someone says, "Oh, you're a black belt. Oh, can you smash this? Can you do this? Can you do this jump?" People always come up with all sorts of crazy stuff, and it's kind of like that. It's like I thought about it, and I was like, okay, so what do I want to? If someone asked me like, Brett, come on, give me a list of black belt martial arts power. What do you envisage when you see a black belt? That's the sort of things that, because I'd like to think that I've at least earned my black belt. I am a black belt. I'd like to think that I portray the minimum standard of a black belt, at least. So in that regard, I'm like, black belt martial arts power. What do I want to portray as a black belt, and what do we expect, or what do we want from our black belts? You know, and that's kind of where I was going with this black belt martial arts power. I wanted to put a bit of videos out there demonstrating some stuff, and I'm not saying it's for every martial art, but for me and myself and my idea and Iron Body martial arts, what is black belt martial arts power? Obviously it'd be different for jiu-jitsu, it'd be different for whatever, but what do we think when we think black belt? And that's why I've done these videos. It's like a bit of breaking stuff, strengthening the hands, grip strength and power, some weapon work, but heavy weapon work. So the weapons are like training the body extra, just stuff like that. Gripping bags. I talked about it before, but the bags, toughening up the body, weapons, being able to take kicks if you mess up, just general shit. And I'm gonna be posting more stuff like that. Um, yeah, it's probably gonna be endless, really, because there's so many ideas in my mind. Black belt martial arts power. Oh, anyway, anyway. I'm sure this little baby of mine's gonna probably wake up for some milk soon, so I might call this a day. But yeah, Batman Keith's been great to see him. Batman Matrix. He was on. Well, I'd like to say I can't say featured heavily, but Batman Keith was a hard, probably still is a hard bastard in the world, and but on YouTube, because I only saw him on YouTube. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting him in person. In England, I think he's lives, or I'm pretty sure it's England or Scotland, or I don't think it was Ireland. But anyway, Batman Keith, a good, solid, soul to the earth guy, just an old school tough guy. Did some awesome training, and my older brother, God rest his soul, who's passed away, I think he knew Batman Keith first, and then he put on Batman Keith onto me, or I or he put him onto me, or he or I no he put him onto me, or he put me onto him. But anyway, somehow we crossed paths, um, and and yeah, so that's Batman Keith. Miss that guy. And yes, and Batman Keith says your belt status on the street is irrelevant, but attaining the black belt is commendable. Yeah, well, I got that years ago, years and years and years ago. But again, I would agree with you. It doesn't matter. I mean, I must admit, black belt martial arts power. Um, it is a title. I've used it to try and grab a few views because my channel is so old on YouTube, but lacking the views, lacking the engagement. I wanted to get a bit of a thing going, get a few more eyes of attention on the channel. But yes, ultimately, and that is actually one of the most important points, is that obviously the belt doesn't matter. Your belt is worth nothing. I mean, I know that for 14 years on police. Ooh, is that a baby out here waking up for milk? It probably is. Milk time. It's milk time. That's like my main training at the moment is this for the last